Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday. It is the 5th day of April 2023. I hope that this April 5th finds you safe and healthy, and that your family is also safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food and shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, who, along with the first responders, who every day are trying to save human lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and sidewalks, highways, parks, parkways clean and disease free. And those also that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women who are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenage and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery, prostitution, child prostitution. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those that profit from these things. And double curses on all the perverts that create these heinous industry. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, mostly children, on the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's a scheduled basketball game tonight at 7 o'clock. The New York Knicks are going to be playing the Indiana Pacers. Now, let's talk about some more congratulations. Last night, the Brooklyn Nets lost in a very tough game. It was a very exciting game to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was a very exciting game. They ended up losing that game 107-102. I want to say, obviously, I'm a Knicks fan, obviously. But I like Brooklyn. I like watching them play. I like watching the whole spirit of their team changed once Durant and Kevin and Kyrie left. And I'm just saying as an observer, I liked the spirit they had when Kenny Atkinson was coaching them. It was a grimy, gritty, tough, up and coming, trying to get back into a team. And this team is very similar with Jock Vaughn, although it's a little bit, well, it's a lot better defensively. This team is defensively. And it's funny, last night when I was watching the game, Joe Harris came in the game at some point, but he looked outdated compared to the rest of the crew. Like he's from the old regime, like Kenny Atkinson. But they play much better defense. They play much better as a team. They're much more fun to watch. So I was rooting for them to lose, which they did. Minnesota pulled out the win, and Minnesota, in beating them, caused the Knicks to clinch the fifth seed. So the Knicks are now officially the fifth seed in the East, and officially all the games going forward, starting tonight, are basically preparation for the Cleveland series. Basically preparation for the Cleveland series. And so I don't think Tibbs is going to rest anybody, but I mean, it's a fortunate thing in the sense that Julius Randle gets to rest and Obi Toppin gets his minutes, and we've talked about that. By the way, yesterday when I asked about the possibility that and I said if Obi Toppin made the Knicks a better team than Julius Randle, the overwhelming majority, matter of fact, I think I got, there was at least, I want to say, let me tell you, there was 228 comments, and the overwhelming, I would say at least 90% of the comments were trade Julius Randle. I wasn't expecting that, but I can understand that, but the overwhelming comments were keep Obi, trade Julius. And some people brought up a very good point, which when I thought about it, was like, that's kind of devastating, actually. So the Knicks drafted in the same draft, 2020, they drafted Obi Toppin and they drafted Emmanuel Quickly, right? But can you imagine losing both of them? It's like, I would rather keep both of them and trade Julius Randle than lose them both and keep Julius Randle. Honestly, I would. Okay? And based on the new culture that the Knicks have developed, that would make more sense. Yes, I know he's 25-10. Yes, I know you're losing 25-10 guy, blah, blah, blah. But based on a new culture that you bring in here with Rose and the whole front office crew and Thibodeau and the coaching staff and the connection and the continuity, so on and so forth. I'd rather keep the two guys we drafted, honestly. All the things being equal. I'd rather keep the two guys we drafted as New York Knicks in our organization and move forward from there. And some of you said, well, I'd like to see more from Obi. You know, you're not going to see any more from Obi. Obi's 25. Okay? He's not going to go through another season of 12 minutes a game. That's not going to happen. And neither is Tom Thibodeau going to split the minutes with him and Randall. Let's be real. It's not going to happen. Okay? So you got to have to move somebody. Right? Like I said yesterday, realistically, the more likely scenario is Obi gets moved. Obi gets moved someplace where he's going to start. Period. Okay, and it was comical to me to listen to some of these guys on these big platforms. Not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about big basketball writers platforms. That I don't know how they got it, but anyway, talking about now they were all on like the 38 win at the Max Knicks earlier. There's even Van Gundy. Oh, they'd be lucky to get in the play-in with this roster. Blah blah blah. But now that they don't win 45 games, now they're looking like they're going to win at least 47 games. Everybody's now, oh yeah, they're pretty good. Oh yeah, the bench is great. Look, the Knicks really have decisions to make with Obi Toppin, and somebody was mentioning him. Some teams will be interested. No, a lot of teams are going to be interested in Obi Toppin, and he's going to be able to start somewhere. Okay, and he's going to turn it out when he does. And all you're talking about, I would like to see some more. You're going to see it when he's playing for somebody else, okay? And then you're going to say, oh, man, I wish we did this, or we should have, could have, would have. So this summer, there is a decision to make. This summer. They could wait till next year. They don't have to sign him this summer. They could wait till next year. But if they're talking about a new culture and doing right by Obi, if you're not going to trade Julius Randle, you better move this kid, because he'll be 26 next spring. Next year in March, he's going to be 26. Okay? He would have wasted 4 years playing 12 minutes a game. So this summer, something's going to happen. This summer. All right? And so I'm just hoping. I mean, I would rather us keep him, but I just know I'm trying to gear myself up for the real. Real, they're going to keep Julius Randle, and they're going to trade Obi Toppin. Now, Emmanuel quickly, if they trade Obi Toppin, they better make daggone sure they re-sign Emmanuel quickly. Make daggone sure you sign him. But I want to tell you something. This is one of the rare cases where the two players are close, like the Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan connection. That was real. Those two dudes were close. That hurt DeMar to be traded to San Antonio. It hurt him. I mean, not because it was a trade, but because him and Kyle Lowry were tight. Obi and IQ, I think we all know, are like best friends. They're very tight. Okay? So I would not be surprised if this is all going to come to some sort of problem, because IQ signing here depends on a few things, because obviously he's not going to be the full-time starter that he would be in Miami. Okay? If he was in Miami, he'd be the full-time starter. Okay? If he's on several teams, I can name 4 or 5 teams, he would be the full-time starter, okay, at the point guard spot. Minnesota, I mean, lots of teams, he would be the full-time starter at point guard. But he probably would stay, especially if they win a first-round series. But now you got to talk about his boy Obi. Not that his money's tied to Obi, no, but they boys. They tight, okay? So this is going to come to something this summer. We're going to see what happens. And again, I don't know. My feelings is they're going to try to sign IQ to a big contract, which they should, and they're going to try to trade Obi. And keep Julius Randle. That's what probably I think the Knicks organization will want to do. I'm not saying this is what I want, but I'm saying this is what I think they would do. What I want, I would trade Randle. If I can get a first rounder for him, first and a second or whatever, I'm not worried about what I get back. I want Obi to get the minutes. And I want, actually, as far as getting back, I mean, if we could trade him for Jeremy Grant, I'd do that. Or we can include him with Chris Porzingis, I'd do that. And it's not big, and those two players will fit with the Knicks, right? And there's a couple of other players, not that many, but there's a couple of other in that ilk. But the key thing to me is if we could really trade him for some assets, whatever it is, draft capital, future assets, and get Obi that spot, and let's roll with that. I'm not worried about it. To me, the Knicks 50-win season next year with Julius or without Julius. Period. With Obi topping on his ball, yeah, 50 wins. Okay? So, and the ball moves better, and Obi plays more consistent defense right now than Julius Randle does. Julius Randle is a load. There's no doubt. I mean, I'm not saying he's an All NBA. There's no doubt. But we didn't draft him. That's all I'm saying. See? So, anyway, we'll see what happens or how this works out. But right now, the Knicks playing Indiana tonight. This is all prep. If Obi gets them 30 minutes tonight, I'd love to see Deuce McBride get 20 minutes tonight. If we can get a 9-man rotation with that two dynamic taking place, I think we're in good shape against Indiana tonight. And that would make 47 wins. But let's see what happens. The good thing is that it is at the Garden. And so, right, it is at the Garden. Nope, I think it's in Indiana. In fact, it is in Indiana. So, yeah, it's in Indiana. I think we got Indiana twice. No, yeah, we're in Indiana today. And then I think in a couple of days, they're back at us. Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah, we got Indiana, two of the last 3 games against Indiana. And then we got New Orleans on Friday night. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting. But we should be able to go 2-1 down the stretch here. And therefore, I guess what I'm saying is they will end up with 48 wins. If we can go 2-1 down the stretch, they end up with 48 wins. That would be tremendous. 48-34. They're already the 5th seed in the East, so we would start against Cleveland. Like I said, I don't expect Julius to be back for the first 2 games in Cleveland. Remember, there's 2 games in Cleveland, then 2 games in New York, then Cleveland, New York, Cleveland. So I'm expecting Julius to probably be back when they come back to New York for the Garden 2 games. I'm hoping and I believe the New York Knicks can get a split in the 2 Cleveland games. And that's why also it's important to play Obi Toppin now, just to make sure, he's comfortable in the starting lineup and because you're going to need him come playoff time. I think our young dogs, Obi, Grimes, especially Obi, Grimes, IQ, the young dogs we drafted are going to come to play in the playoffs. I told y'all a few weeks ago when Grimes was in the slump and y'all was like, Grimes can't shoot. And I told y'all, watch, come playoff time, this dude, and it's already starting. He's going to be lights out, okay? And he's playing high-level defense. There's a reason they kept him out of the Donovan Mitchell trade talks. And now we're going to see young dog Grimes, young dog Quick, young dog Obi, Mob Deep, and Quick. And Q dog. So I'm very excited about that. Just don't want nobody to get hurt. Let's rest Randall up. Make sure he's back for the playoffs and see what happens. Indiana tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Y'all have a good Wednesday. Sure. Oh, and happy Passover.